Reevwd.
Straight fire from the intro.
Yeah, I've been double tapping on your Insta.
I'll double tap if I like her.
I just stand behind it. That girl make me turn blind. Yeah.
Them not testament.
We're back.
We're back, mate. We're back.
Welcome to the space, Mixcloud. Thanks for being here, bruv.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Long story, but you know I appreciate you being here. And yeah, it's just getting into this new series, man. Reevwd.
Bro, it's love, man. It's a great concept, and I think it should have been done a lot sooner. But sometimes there's space for someone to step through and do their thing
And do it properly.
And you're doing that, so it's good.
Yeah,
man.
I'm excited because it's the only place that, you know, you can listen to your favorite artists, break down the tracks, you know, single by single, and tell us things that we wouldn't have known about before. So,
For real.
you know, now that the album's out, I've seen a lot of interviews and a lot of things that you've done with Top Tier, but none of them has been as in depth as this is. Do you know what I mean? There's still things that, you know, we're going to find out today that I would never have known before today.
Yeah,
which is what I'm excited about. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Mercston,
let's go, my
Top
bro.
Tier Reevwd with Mixcloud. So first of all, let's talk about the album name. Okay, why did we call it Top Tier?
It was called Top Tier because, firstly, I felt like, cool, people have always stopped me and said, you're underrated and this and that and that. But I know my level, I know what I'm capable of. And I felt like, cool, I'm going to put together a project and I'm going to work with everyone that I regard as sick, whether they're up here or they're there status-wise. So I feel that everybody involved is top tier. And I felt like the sounds that we fused together and gave the world is top tier as well.
And obviously, it's been out for a little while now, a couple of weeks. I asked you before how you was feeling on the day that it was coming out.
Yeah.
Now that it's been out and, you know, you've seen the streams, you've had some time to process it, you're seeing the tracks that people are enjoying, which we'll get into in a bit.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now?
I feel happy that people are receiving it the way they're receiving it.
Is it what you expected?
Yeah, it's what I expected and more. I always appreciate people letting me know that, or people just that can talk to other people and express that.
Yeah.
Because you can walk past people, they can think something and not say anything. And it's not bad if they don't. Even tweet you. It takes time to put together a tweet to send. You know what I mean? Like positive tweets are always going to uplift the artist.
I think a lot of people probably don't realise that as well, because I think there's a perception that if you tweet an artist or you message an artist or DM an artist, 9 times out of 10, they're probably not going to see it.
Yeah, like, bro, I'm on my phone, bro, man. I check, you know what I'm saying? I don't always get back to everything straight away, but I check, bro, and I appreciate every message that comes through, bro. Trust me.
No, that's a good trait to have, man.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, in terms of the album, you've got a lot of different vibes on there, a lot of different emotions. You've got your yard vibes, you've got your old school, you've got your gritty vibes, you've got your grime vibes, you've got your old school garage vibes on there. Let's get into the first track, like you say, straight in from the intro.
Straight fire from the intro.
Straight fire from the intro. It's Big M for your info. White round with some Vimto. First round was a pink note. In my car, got the lid bro. Take that dust off, fuck off, man, I rock us. Better know it's a lot of money when they buck us. Back to the intro, with the French thing singing Ocho Cinco. Boom. Big talk, but it still fools me. Big dick and some big moves. Tell me something, smell me cousin. Ignorant man can't tell me nothing, no man.
I love that you're still feeling it,
bro.
Like it's the same. It's the same response that that you gave every time I've heard you or seen you listen back.
Do you know
to
why
it?
I'm giving that response? Because it got to a point like while we're creating this album, and I've taken it away, and we felt that it was finished, where you listen to songs so much, like for every little fine detail, that sometimes you can then feel like you've consumed the song so much or too much. So it's like, you know what, let me part that up. So I waited consciously until the release of the album to be able to listen to it from the start to the end. So now I'm enjoying it like everybody else.
That's it. But I love it. I feel like this is the perfect intro. It's got that classic Mercston flow.
Yeah.
It's got that Pulse X kind of vibe that we spoke about before, which obviously I know you remember. Talk to me why you made it the first track on the album.
I felt that it was important for me to show kind of like where I started. And I felt that the grime sound that people like put with my sound is like a rough squad rhythm. You know what I mean? Generally, that is where Mercston sounds cold.
Let's talk a little bit about that journey. Back in the day, you know, the grime days, the Deja days, the Risky Road days, Jammer's Basement, the movement.
For me, I started quite late like in writing lyrics and putting songs out and stuff. So for me, it started with listening to a lot. So I'd listen to Nasty Crew on Deja, I'd listen to Roll Deep on Rinse, and recite lyrics, go to school. Me and my friends would go back to back. And
School
then,
playground.
And then at that point, it's like I could remember lyrics.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, cool, where can I take this? Then I'll go youth centre. Rough Squad, they were writing and stuff from early. My brethren, Stamina, Soldier, they were all writing early. Do you know what I mean? So they would have their little back-to-backs. Yeah, it got to a point where I could put some bars together that were received kind of okay. You know what I mean? And I felt like, all right, I can do something with this. So radio, I go to the radio. I was in Mucky Wolfpack with God's Gift, who used to be in Pay As You Go.
Yeah,
there was a bag of us, like all in one discarder. There was a bag of us, like. But again, that was just the training ground before I even linked up with Gets or anybody in the movement. So did that for a few years. And then I found the lane of starting to make some songs because I thought, you know what? The 8-bar repetitive thing's not really my thing or my strong point. What I can do is I can veer off, make some songs now that the gal them will like as well. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I just started messing about with Chunky B, my brother who I grew up with since I was 3. He produced Summertime. So yeah, I was just messing around with different producers, putting work together. Merlin was around from the jump as well. And then we created, man.
It makes me feel old.
Me too.
I don't know about you, bro.
me too, bro.
It makes me feel old because I grew up with that as
Yeah.
well, listening to it, and you know, and it's nice to see you here now, and you know, people like Dev and Gets just doing their thing and just killing it, and
Sure.
you know, just the new generation as well, not knowing about that and not knowing where all of that came from, because there is that perception that you come out of nowhere all of a sudden, and all of a sudden you're dropping albums.
We've been working, man.
Yeah.
We've been working away for years, perfecting the craft.
So I think it would have been a crime if Dev and Gets weren't on the album.
It was important to have people that was on the movement, in the movement, on the title track of the album. It made sense. I felt like there's a lot of people that are cold in the game, but for me, where I feel that my level was upped, it was around those people. I'll give you a backstory of the actual track. Like, the track was originally a Scorcher song. So imagine I went to go and visit Scorcher with my friend Liam. I felt that I could do something. So when we've gone on a visit, I'm like, yo, see that tune? Can I finish that tune? He's like, yeah, cool, finish it. Scorcher did his verse in 2017, early, even 2016. I did my verse on Top Tier in 2017. Sent the version with just Scorcher, not my part on, to Gets. Gets wasn't sure about it at that particular time. Then he hit me up a year to the date that I sent him the email and said, you got anything? I know you're wrapping up your album. I said, it's all done. He said, what about that track that you sent me before with Scorch? Send it to him. This is he's hit me up a year later on the exact same day. And I've sent him the email of this track again. Cool, so Gets has come embodied. And then by the time we've ended up putting this out, because albums take long to put out, whatever, Scorcher came out and felt like he wanted to put the song out by himself.
Okay.
Because obviously I'd had it for quite a long period of time and he needed some heat to come out with. So he then put it out by himself. So Scorcher came off the track. And then for me, it was like, who else can fit in the position? Devlin. Has to be Devlin. You know what I'm saying? Like, movement, Top Tier. Let's go.
Yeah.
So that's how Top Tier come about.
Painting laying on my mattress. Certain man out here doing backflips. Told her come around 9, cause I'm active. These times a girl you laying down with the catfish. Yo, rock a brunch and some lambins. Black top eating black cod, check my ad-libs. Brand new whip but I cabbed it. When you're looking at me, know you're looking at a caption. Yo, come true flexing. Stepped in, everything's expensive. From a grin I should drink to my dentist. Dear Lord, make it better come with brethren. Done a friend so she knows what the length is. Fuck your boyfriend's car, guys rented. My thing's chest, 2 arms and a leg king. If I said I put you on your ass, meant it.
You've got a line in there where you say, laugh at my L's and applaud my winnings.
Yeah.
And whenever grime is mentioned, I think, you know, that the names get brought up, the Whiteleys, the Skeptors, the Kanos.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you should be amongst those names when people are talking about that and you're getting the respect that you currently deserve?
Again, when you say, to answer your question, when you say should, I don't want to say should because a lot of these people have put in a lot more work than me. I may have been a lot more consistent.
That's respectful.
But what I do know is obviously when I am gonna drop, if you do put me beside any of these people on a track, it could go either way on the day.
It's nice to see the the reception over the last sort of 2-3 weeks, and just the amount of love that it's getting, which it deserves. And even just at the launch party, just the amount of people that came out for it, bro. That was...
Yeah, on a Thursday in Essex, man. Big up everyone that came out to that. But again, like the people that came out to that, I felt like a lot of the people that were there, probably 90%, have been part of the journey in some way, shape or form. So it was nice to be able to have the confetti going off at 12 o'clock and for the people to be in there and see me celebrate this as well. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, like I have to big up the people that were involved in making this project. Inc., my brothers, Lee and Dom. Like, there's a lot of times through the process of making this album that we didn't get on. We might not have spoke for a couple of days because we didn't agree on certain things, but ultimately we wanted to make sure that we could give the world the best product we could.
Well, getting into the next track, talk to me about the selection process for Top Tier, because this next one features Blade Brown, and you haven't got many features on there, which again is something that I like. And I know you said at the start the reason you've called it Top Tier is because the people on there as well you consider to be top tier. So how did the track with Blade come around?
This is an interesting one. It's like we're in a group chat, right? There's quite a few of us in there. Some people MC still, some don't, some was rappers, whatever. And then randomly it was just like, yeah, but I'm colder than you. I don't know. I don't think I started that, but yeah. He's like, I'm colder than you. And then I'm saying, no, you ain't. And then obviously people are just egging you. You know, like
go on,
when
then.
you're in, when you're in school, there's that person just like,
oh, you're gonna let him say that.
But they're messaging now. They're messaging like probably having separate messages outside of the group. Like, oh, you say this, you say that. But anyway, it was that kind of thing. And you know what? Let's go studio tonight then. We're gonna do one grime song. We're gonna do one rap song, and let's see what's going on. So anyway, we went to the Beat Freak studio, and I think he came late. Blade came late. So on that day, we only got to do one track. And to be fair, it was kind of slower than the track that you hear. So we do the tune gets forgotten about. Posty's in the studio, Callie's in the studio, everyone's having a laugh. Yeah, I mean, saying who they think had the strongest verse on the day, whatever. Fast forward a year and a half, I put a tweet out and I was like, yo, anyone got any sick beats? I need some sick beats. What I didn't realize is the person that was engineering me that day, big up Bionic, is a producer also. So he sends me a track. I remember I was driving back from Bicester Village. He sends me a track. I can hear my vocals, but I'm on a beat that I didn't spit on. But I'm confused because he's not told me who he is when he sent it.
Yeah.
I've just played it. I'm thinking, what? I didn't spray on this tune, but it sounds kind of cold.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of cold. Then I think I hit him up. He sent me his number. We had a conversation. And he was like, yeah, man, what I did is I sped your vocals up slightly. What do you think of this? So I knew that we had something. It needed a lot of work. So yeah, we sent that over. I got in with my team, Inc., Ruben as well, Ruben Lahar, who added to it. And then we kind of just created what the people hear now.
Them not a testament.
Oh, you think all that? Man, step out there. Let by the old child.
Tell them to round.
When I give you I bring the money back. Bad man pussy on top. I ain't dance and you want die. Big Merc and it's all black. Can't do all that.
Cook a brick a day and dry it out. Give it to the nitties, let them try it out.
So yeah, that song came from a banter clash type of thing of who can have the best verse on that day to you hearing facts.
Who won the clash?
Because we still banter about it in the group today.
Yeah.
I took longer to deliver my verse, right? So they're trying to hold on.
You don't need to be modest, you know.
Yeah, no, so they're saying that I took long to deliver my verse, so he kind of won on a day. But my thing is, my verse was more technical anyway, just like with the different flows and whatever else. So still now, I'm saying that my verse is the hardest. Like we're going at it like just last week. You get me? But it's still
going.
Yeah, but it's love anyway. He bodied the verse, and I think that the song's a really good track, man. So however it come about, the world can hear the facts.
Yeah, we've got it now.
Yeah.
What's the recording process like when you're recording the album? Do you like a big team of people around you, your engineer, your friends, alcohol, like a little party, or do you just want to be, yourself and your engineer?
I like to work with me, the engineer, and maybe like Dom would be the person that's the other part of Inc. So Inc's there's two people in Inc. Lee generally does all the recording. Dom's like the bad man backing vocalist, but obviously he produces as well. And when we have conversations, we'll speak about what can work, what doesn't work, whatever. He helped me be able to reach certain notes with my vocals when I'm doing a little singing style. So generally it would be us three in the studio. if alcohol's involved, it'll be more so when I'm doing melodies than when I'm spitting, because when I'm spitting, I gotta be sharp. I can't slur any words or anything like that. But I don't like anyone to kind of be in the studio until it's listening back time.
It's important to have people in that room as well whose opinions you can trust.
Oh,
because you know how it is. There's a lot of yes men. There's a lot of people that will tell you something sounds cold when it doesn't necessarily sound cold. Obviously, people like your manager Ian has always got your back, and he'll tell you straight.
Yeah, and do you know what's mad about Ian? Like, I love him. I love my brother. Sometimes he gets it wrong. Sometimes I get things wrong.
Of course,
but he's not afraid to tell you his opinion, and you always have to value people's opinions that you respect.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? So for instance, when I sent him facts, he was like, I'm not sure, this ain't it. But I knew what it was going to sound like. I just had the vision of where we could take it to.
Got you.
And I understand that someone that doesn't make music, they might not be able to see and hear what you can hear before they hear it. We have to be able to hear something before you complete something. But yeah, like when we did the last listening session, when I'm playing some of the songs that I think are bad, Jessica Agama was there as well. She helped a lot on the album, like done a lot of backing vocals for me, and just kind of like steered me in certain directions with vocals, because she's like cold with vocals and a really good writer. But yeah, so it's like some songs that I thought was it, my cousin's like, nah, bro, like what, this over that? But I'm like, yeah, bro, nah. Play me what you left off the album then. So at the end, we'll play what we left off the album.
Yeah.
You need to bring that one back, and you see them two there.
And
but you know when I'm attached to these songs,
yeah.
like I'm feeling like we've all done probably 4, 5, 6 mixes. Like we're just about to get mastering, and you're telling me that. And I feel like in the end, after dissecting and even like down to the track listing, I think that should be earlier, that should be later. You sure? Yeah, take it away, listen to it.
Okay.
So the order changed a few times, but the purpose of putting it together how we did in the end, and what we was trying to reach was for people to be able to listen and feel like they're on a journey with no turbulence. Do you know what I mean? Like with there being so many different genres, it still needed to not feel like a mixtape.
100%. And I think that was a conscious decision where you put no banter as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was one of the ones that had already been released, and a lot of times people don't put the tracks that they've released on the album.
I have to give that one to my master, Kevin Tuffy. So he was like, singles usually in the first 4, bro. Like,
okay.
And I'm like, what? Not 5? He's like, first 4, bro. So I'm like, all right, cool. We'll put it as 4 then. We'll put it as 4 because you got to remember, if there's new fans that are listening, at least while they're like, I don't know, 12 minutes in after the first 3 tracks, you hit them with something that they're familiar with. Now they're in tune again. They're with you.
And that's one of the things that I like about sitting down and doing a reviewed interview, because these are the things that a lot of people won't understand. Like a lot of music geeks will understand that, and a lot of artists out there will know that there's a process when picking the order of the tracks. But you know, there's a lot of people that just think that you fling them on there, and that's just the way that it runs.
You can't do that. People will switch off. If you can have the same songs on an album, you put them in the wrong order, they'll switch off.
Sounds like a completely different project.
And if you're trying to keep them for an hour, the positioning is key.
Another crime that I wouldn't have forgiven you for is not having Retro on the album.
Oh.
So I don't know if there was other tracks that were considered, but it was nice to obviously have that track on there.
Yeah.
What have you guys sort of learnt from each other over the last 20 years? Like, we're in a new decade now. In a new decade now. So I'm thinking, like, you know, there must be some things. Obviously, you've come along the journey together, and I'm sure you've been there for each other along the whole way. So
we've all become more versatile. Well, we've been versatile from the start, but I feel like we've hit new levels within creating music. So talking about no banter, I feel like before people would have heard it, they wouldn't have expected to hear what they heard. But when they heard what they did hear, it was just like, okay, we like this. Do you know what I mean? So it's always nice to be able to push boundaries, and people would say that Rich he's a wordsmith.
Yeah.
But if you check the way that he attacked that song, it was just playful.
Was it always like that? Was
technical.
It just the verses and then the chorus? And then the hook,
so how it was a bit of a mad one. So I had my verse first. Big up Merlin, who produced the rhythm. I had my verse, so me and him was talking, me and Rich was talking, and he was like, what have you got? So I sent him over a few things, and he liked that one in particular, but he's a man that doesn't write, so he's like, let me come to the studio and let me just lay a couple ideas. I got a style here I want to try. But at that point, I just want a hook. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted a chorus. Just give me a chorus. Let me do my next verse off of whatever way you take them. Anyway, he comes to the studio, bro. This brother did an intro, an outro, a chorus, and a verse, bro.
Basically the whole tune.
The whole track. So I'm now on 20% of this rhythm. It's weird because his verse was even longer than mine. So imagine like intro, my verse, chorus, his verse, like middle eight, chorus, bro, he took over the whole rhythm. But again, it was cool, and as he will always say, it's like you keep the gold and you remove the rest.
Double digits. Summertime fine in the winter. Yeah, I'll be double tapping on your Insta. Yo, you got a man, I ain't in the mixer. No, liquor wearing if it's with a mixer. Yeah, gal, know you're better than your sister. Yeah, gal, me say you're better than your sister.
I'm glad you kept me say you're better than your sister.
Yeah.
That was the line of the song.
But imagine that was his idea. So I had a line straight after that, and he was like, "Yo, bro, do you know what he just said there? Like, you know that's the point where everyone's gonna say that back." And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe." He's like, "Bro, trust me. Take that line out there, say that again. We're just gonna give it a bit of emphasis, pull the beat out, whatever." And he was right. It was the line of the track. So again, it's good to be able to be in the studio with people that have performed a lot. Do you know what I mean? So you know how the crowd react. He's obviously done a lot more performing than I have. And again, just being with people that understand music and you trust their judgment on things. So when you are in the studio together and can bump heads, you're gonna get the best out of the session. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you learn from each other, and I think we did that.
Big. Well, next track is Bathrobe. We're gonna get into that, and we're switching up the vibe a little bit with it because obviously you got the bashment dance hall vibe that we mentioned before. Bit of a steel pan in there in the background, which I like.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the production on this one, like if you had like a live band or something like that, if you perform this live, that would be insane, bro.
Yeah, it'll go off. Big up yours truly. They produced that. They're producers from Amsterdam. That session came about randomly. Like I went to link my brethren Slick Vic in I think it was Tower Yard, 2017, and he just before we walked in the studio, he was like, "Yo, I got these guys from Amsterdam. You cool? Like we'll do a session?" Because I originally went to do the session with just him. I'm like, "Yeah, cool, man. Let's go in there. Let's see what's good." So it was good the way that we vibed. Like it was instant sort of thing. Like I played some tracks, they played some tracks, so we kind of got a feel of what each other's kind of creating. And I think at that time I was doing more melodic sounding rhythms. So once I played a few, it was like, all right, cool, we got something. And they work so fast, bro. So like they're working, I'm creating, and I'm a person that, where I've been working with my team for so long, I kind of just stick within my team. I don't really venture out. But this time venturing out was like really positive, bro. So we came up with the track really, really, really quick.
But it's nice because it brings me back to what we were saying previously, to the way that you prefer to record with just, you know, the people that you're used to and the people that that you trust around you, to then being in this environment, to working with a new producer and just vibes in, because it can work either way. Yeah,
like you're out of your comfort zone, but when the energy's right and you're vibing with each other properly, it's good, man. Originally, I sang the hook myself. So I sang the hook myself, and then we're just thinking like, do we have a girl on it? Do we get another male artist to do something? So we were sitting on it for a while, and then AL came and sang the hook for me. Do you know what I mean? And she done really well, and it killed it. The song just had the sprinkles, and it sounds like it sounds today.
Say she wanna come in on me yard. You think she only want me for me car? She don't wanna love in her heart, yeah. No, she don't wanna love in her she heart. Nobody there, my yard. Tell her drive and stop at all. When you reach it, take off your bra. Hard on time, never stop.
Bang bang, been a me in. Bang bang, been a me in. Been a mini, I go on. Bing 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 me in. You see, come on, style. But you see the boys them now. The boys them is great. Them tough. Yeah, man, the whole world recognize them, you know. Small kids, man, because you know, and them creative. Have a lot of lyrics in their mouth. I have to respect those kids, you know, because those who set a light, you know. Set a crack in pace, you know what I mean?
I know, speaking to you about this before, how important it is to you, like it is to me, because we both grew up with albums
That
where
had
they
skits.
had skits.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think a lot of people don't realise just how important it is to just take a breath, have a little bit of a break. So is that what you had in mind for this? And why did you go with this skit in this particular place?
So for me, like, skits, I feel like they help piece the story together. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna keep the people for an hour and take them on a journey, like you said, it's like little interludes in between that link to the next part. So the reason why this particular skit was chosen and put in this position was because Eka Mouse, like he speaks about the youth. He speaks about like where they're taking it and what they're doing today and why you have to respect them. Do you know what I mean? And just me coming from a generation that was a few generations before the particular person that's on this track, Geordie, who is super cold. And he came to me with the track, and originally I was doing a feature for him. And then luckily I got to keep the song because he wasn't putting it out. So I was like, Mercs, you got your album coming out. Do you want to have it? I was happy. I was ecstatic to have this. I felt like it's a great tune. So yeah, it was just me giving respect to him and the other youths that are doing what they're doing in the game right now. I think that it's important to recognize it and give them some respect, man.
It's nice as well because, like we said, you've got so much cultural themes running through the project.
Yeah,
you've got this one brings us back to the yard, sort of styly. We've had the old school garage. We've had the old school Mercston. We've had a little bit of a bashment vibe with the bathrobe just gone, and now we're gonna get into T's and C's, which is just straight spitting.
Yeah,
like
we got Pep as well. Pep went blind on that. They both went, bro. It's only people in the movement that send me stuff, or if I have to go into the studio, I feel some type of way before it's time to write whatever I got to write and deliver what I got to deliver. But when they've sent me this tune, I've listened to it and I'm like, bro, I've got to really think about what I'm writing now because these two have gone blind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was nice to be tested. It was nice to be tested and then to be able to listen to the track now and people to be able to listen to it and just enjoy it for what it is. Straight bars, no chorus. You know what I mean? You got Geordie at the start, Pep in the middle, and then me, I take the last leg. But I just feel like the song, that song gets me the most gassed on the whole album.
I've said it to you before, on the first listen, I expected Top Tier to be the tune that I'd have on repeat.
Yeah.
It's still a banger.
Yeah.
But this one for me, I wheeled it up like about 4 times. And I don't like doing that when I listen to an album for the first time. I want to listen to everything in full. So it kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, but you see the purpose of Top Tier. The purpose of Top Tier was more of a statement.
Okay.
This is like, these dons are top tier and this is why. T's and C's is a vibe, but with bars and stylies all over the place. But that the vibe was to get you like, you know what I mean?
Which is what it does.
Yeah.
Couple G's on that like her, double tap if I like her, double back when I'm scrolling, double Dutch when I'm flowing. Real nigga from the jump, my dog. You don't wanna get slumped, my dog. If we're talking bars, then I'm baiting. Man come like a barber, line him up and then fade him. Yeah.
Crazy.
It takes me back to the launch party, and I really love the fact that you gave them the stage because even though it was about your album launch, it was a moment, man, like bringing them up there and just kind of just introducing them to your audience as well. Like,
bro, man, you got to remember Pep's been doing his thing for a very long time, and big up to Pep, like amazing producer, produced probably a lot of big records that people might not even be aware of, and always has been able to rap his ass off, you know what I'm saying? So Pep, big up Pep. Geordie, obviously new school in Vibba with the man them like Poet and Scribs and stuff, but like it was just nice to be able to, like you said, share that moment with them. But also it was nice for me because the first time we ever performed that track was in 2018 when I had like a little party for a song Balmain that I'd put out.
Yeah.
And we performed the track there. Nobody had heard it. The song got wheeled up so many times, but nobody had ever heard this song. I think we had a discussion after that for me to have it for my album, but I knew at that moment I wanted that song for my album.
It got wheeled up about 5 times at the launch.
The tune's bad, bro. The tune's bad. The tune's bad, but yeah, big up Geordie, big up Pep. Thank you for letting me take the song, bro.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about crossing over to the mainstream, and I know we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you've been doing it. And you've been played on pretty much every radio station. Like you've been releasing mainstream tunes, but I don't know. I think you'll be one of the first people to agree that it hasn't quite crossed over yet.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's back to what we were talking about in terms of like the gap and the time and the fact that this is just a debut album coming out now? Or
yeah, I think obviously you can have moments. You could have a single that could cross over, and then the artist might just be a bit stagnant or whatever. But I feel like consistency is key. I don't feel like, although I've had projects that have kind of been every year or every other year, they've not been serious enough bodies of work. I've always been able to make songs that have some sort of commercial feel to them. So it was important to have something like this on the album. A lot of people said you should release it as a single, or you should have, you know what I mean? Even the people I made it with David Stewart, Jessica Agambar and Kulan. So it's like, it's got that feel.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to have it on the album in a place for people to enjoy it. Like it's my son's favourite song on the album.
Okay.
He sings that track. Like one time we was driving, I was playing everything. He was like, Dad, turn it down. Turn it down, I'm trying to play my computer. You know what I mean? He's playing his Nintendo. And then that song came on and I was just looking at him and he was singing it. Thinking, I've never heard you sing this one. But I'm watching him and he's singing each part. But I know that my son generally sides with commercial things. Like if his mum's playing certain songs in the car, they will stick in his brain. So that song, the purpose of creating that, it did that because he identified it as commercial. So it's cool. So this album for me was to be able to give people each side of me, like you said, culture, the yard elements, the grime elements, the garage elements. These are all elements that have been within me for however long. You know what I mean? I grew up on all different sounds. I grew up on rare grooves, soul. You know what I'm saying? Lovers rock and all them thing there. So it's like somehow everything's fused onto this album. Somehow. Like I even had a proper like rare grooves tune that didn't make it onto the album.
Really?
But I think I did that more for my dad. Like,
okay.
Like, I wanted to be able to show it to my dad and for him to be like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't make it on the album. But
have you at least played him the song?
Nah, because it ain't mastered and stuff.
Oh, okay.
You see my dad? You see my dad? You see, because he's a music man. When I play him things that are not mastered, like just like, what do you think of this, Dad? Remember, he's got his big setup at Yard. So when he's tweaking certain things and it's not sounding right, you had this mixed. Yeah, Dad, look, nah, you need to go back to my man, you know, it's a bit tinny. You know what I mean? So I'm like, but just enjoy the tune, man. It's not done yet. So if I was to play it to him, I need to play it to him when it's finished. I don't want to hear his mat, you know what I mean? But yeah, different layers from different things that I've grown up on.
It's nice to know that you and your son have identified this as the one that is commercial.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was as a conscious decision when you put it on the album. But clearly there is that thought in the back of your head when you're making music that, okay, cool, this one could be one for the mainstream. Yeah. This one is one for the man them, this one's one for the girls.
This was one of the last songs that I recorded. So what it was like, okay, what do you have on the album? This is what we would bring to the album. Let's do this session. So when I went to that session, I knew what to expect of that session. I didn't know exactly how it was going to sound, but I knew it was going to be more commercial than anything that I'd had on the album.
I don't think you could have got a better feature as well. And again, I like that it's people that, you know, it's not the obvious. And the way that the track has now come about and now the way that it now is received by everybody because of that hook. I'm trying to think of somebody else who might be a little bit more mainstream that could have done that the same. And I don't think they could have.
Nah, I think that he done exactly what I needed him to do on there. I have to big up Wretch on that as well. Conversations. Yo, I got this song. Send it to me. So I sent it to him, and originally David Stewart sang on it. It wasn't for him to stay on it. It was like, the idea's down, let's see if we want to get anyone else on it. Yeah. So he sang the chorus. We tweaked it a little bit. And he's like, Kulan. Wretch is like, Kulan, why don't you hit up Kulan? He'll sound bad on this. And I'm like, he actually would sound bad on this. Let me hit him up. You never know when you hit people up if they're going to be available in the time that you need it. Because again, where it was like one of the last songs that I recorded, and I felt that the album was going to be coming out at the period that it was supposed to, around August times. When you're hitting someone up, you kind of need them to do it today, tomorrow, or the next day. Okay. And you never know if it's going to be that, and you can't even really expect them to work at your pace.
Of course.
But yeah, man, he did it like almost straight away, man. I think he'd done it probably the same day.
Yeah, big up to Kulan, man.
Big up, man.
Pulling me up on my guidance, pulling me up on my time. You could be with my inviting, but you keep your eyes on the side. I don't wanna waste no time, I don't wanna wait all night, no. I told you for the 100th time, I ain't gonna tell no lies.
I done showed you the guidelines, but I messed up.
So the next tune, as soon as I saw the title of it, I knew straight away, you can't call the song Merc Skinner and not kind of come with that old school vibe, that old school garage vibe, the streets vibe. Yeah. It would have been, you know what I mean, that would have been misleading. But we've had a conversation about this track before, and that was a couple weeks before the album had come out. Yeah. Now I'm looking at everything. I think it's pretty safe to say that this is the one that people are probably feeling the most off the whole album.
Yeah. Obviously, garage sound is something that I've always like tampered with. But I felt that this was art. We did that by putting this together. So big up Obsession, who originally sent the beat over, and then my family .inc have worked on it and we've put it to where we've put it. Cherry V come in and done some wonderful backing vocals. The treatment's been in place for however long. So it's always been something that we wanted to shoot. But I felt that it would have more of an impact coming out on the album alongside all the other sounds. So when you get to that sound, it's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
He's spitting like that. Oh, this is cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt that giving them that wow factor rather than just putting it out on its own before, this way it works better. So it allows people to digest the whole album and then pick out what stood out to them.
I salute you for the bravery, because it could have went wrong.
Yeah. Could have went horribly wrong.
It could have went horribly wrong, because it's something that when I first heard it, I'm not going to lie, like the first sort of 10, 15 seconds I was listening thinking, where are you going with this? Where's this going? Where's this going? And then obviously I realised that you're spraying, spitting like that for the whole song.
Yeah.
And then listening back to it.
It almost got left off the album, bro.
Really?
Yeah, it almost got left off. The main reason it almost got left off is because the song originally had an Erykah Badu sample that would have been very long to clear.
Yeah.
Then it's like, I'm just getting frustrated. Should we just move on? Mm-hmm. But then again, like my team, Lee's a bad man. He's just like, you know what? I got ideas. Let me let me work. The song that you hear today with all the samples everywhere and whatever, that's Lee, man. We did it together, but that's Lee. Like, I'm just there proving, maybe not, but it's him. Do you know what I mean? So we got there in the end, and I feel like once we got to that point, it was like, this has to be on the album. It's just where we're gonna place it.
Yo, sun shining, I just done me ironing. Feel like I'm at Skinner, flow's blinding. I'm out in the manor admiring that bird in the shorts assault. Yes, I should get those fires in. I just got a call from Gary. Hello.
Personally, for me and our generation as well, it takes us back to those days, those Basildon days, Time and Envy, Watford days.
Yeah, for sure. And like, he was the best at doing those stories back then. Do you know what I mean? So I felt like when I did it, how I did it, it was just a geezer version of what he would have done. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And I guess people, when they are taking it in, is taking them back to, like you said, Time and Envy and whatever other dances they used to go to. And you're remembering those particular moments that you're in the toilet. You don't even want to give the geezer a quid or two. He's just on you. You want a bit of spray, chewing gum or whatever. He's on you. Give him that. All right, cool. You know what I mean? You come out of that. Then there's that room that's got that room that's playing that. It's just a vibe, bro.
Fives looking like tens.
Oh,
it's
that
the
happens.
one that
that's happened. That's happened to everyone.
We was laughing about that just before you came in, bro.
That's
like we've all been there.
The beer goggles are on. It's happened to everybody, man.
But thinking about it, like when we talk about the streets, you was around then as well. Like you've been doing bits. What's kept you going? We're in 2020 now, bro.
Yeah, do you know what? I think just the love of music, firstly, has kept me going because, again, I've started in an area where it wasn't about money. Mm-hmm. It was just about being cold and just being skillful, learning new things and just being able to put things together differently and I guess impress yourself and your peers. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, I think with my dad being a DJ, I thought I would have probably been a DJ. I still can't mix today. I don't know why. I can't mix for nothing.
I'll teach you after, man.
Yeah,
we'll have a little play.
It just doesn't really work out. So I felt like I was always going to be involved in music. I just didn't know where I was going to land. But I ended up landing on being a mic man.
Well, talking about, you know, your dad and the roots and the music and the household and stuff. Brings us nice to the next skit.
Yeah.
Sound man.
We are the original juggling machine. We're not business who want be killing machine. From who what? This is the original juggling machine. So in the meantime,
Stone love the ruling soul.
That's all I rule the world. Christ, the solid rock I stand and
I grew up in a household where Stone Love was played regular, their sound, yeah, I'm saying a Jamaican sound. My dad would be playing all different sounds. He's the one that put me on to like Sting, learning about, you know what I'm saying, how it would go down. So he would always tell me like, you man, see all the clashing that you lot are doing? Trust me, it's from that. The man them learned that from that. So like sometimes I know what he's saying is true. But you know when your dad talks to you like he knows everything and you don't know nothing.
Yeah, it's a stand parent thing to do.
But it's cool though. I learned a lot from my dad. Like, trust me, all the music that I know that is stored within this brain here, like, honestly, there's times I'm out in places that are of big people. Like I'm an adult, obviously, but you know, like the adults.
Yeah.
Certain sounds I'll be playing, I might be lip syncing to something. They're thinking, what's this? Yeah, this young boy know this tune. But it's just embedded with him because I grew up on these things. Of course,
yeah. It's part of our culture.
Yeah, man. Like, if I'm totally honest with you, on a Sunday, I don't really want to hear anything apart from Rare Grooves, bro. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm an old soul, man. Like, so yeah, my music library in here is from my dad. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Sundays chilling with my dad, big bag of lad and Stone Love. Aye, I'm young, I don't need that Stone Love. Stop talking about my man, me and my man are not kosher. Been around for flip motor rollers, glamour kid that had shoulders. Monkeys on my back, mad keys on my shoulders.
Once you say or see the name Gigs on the track list, straight away expectations, they just go here.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that, you know, are not a fan of the art, probably going to pick up the album and just go straight to that tune. Is this something that you had in place to be on the album before the album started?
I think I probably made that track early 18 or back end of 17, but Gigs wasn't on the track at that time. So I felt like the way I attacked it sort of had a bit of his sauce and style in there.
Okay.
But I had my first verse and I had my second verse, but I still felt like the song wasn't complete. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm not going to put this on the album if it's not complete. I don't know what completes it. Could be a Gigs verse. Could be somebody else, but I can hear Gigs on it. You know what I'm saying? Then it just got to the point of us literally getting to the end of putting this album together and finalizing everything. Then it's like, you know what? If you're going to reach out. You know what I'm saying? Gigs is my guy. We've been like pals for many years, but we've never made any songs together. You know what I mean? I've never asked for a verse, nothing. So this was the first time I asked. And it's always like, you never want to be in that position where you ask your guy and they might just feel like, oh, it's my guy, let me just do it. I want you to do it because you actually like the song.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I sent it to him. I think he hit me back on a day and then I didn't hear nothing for 2 weeks. So I was thinking, rah, like, then he hit me up and was like, you know what, the file didn't work. Can you send it to me again? I sent it to him again. Then he started texting me back the lyrics that I was saying. So I knew that he was in tune, he was rating it. And then after a bit of time, we got it done, man. We got it done. I went to his studio. My parts were done. He laid his vocals in his studio. And that was a mad experience as well, bruv.
Big vibe coming in, each on the left wing, my kind of ting. Cause there's a business flight coming in, can't get the job done, fly someone in.
Just imagine going to a studio and he's doing your verse, right? Immediately as he finishes your verse, but then he does a verse for a huge American artist straight after. Like, yo, Saj, put that on, boom, next one. So I'm like, rah. You know, like just things just start to fall in place. Then while we're there, he's got his chef there, he's making food, whatever. Then who walks into the studio, bro? Biggs, Jay-Z and Biggs. Biggs walks into the studio just on time, yo. You know what I'm saying? Hailing up the man, them eating a food and my song's playing and that. So I'm like, rah. You know, like, it's just, I don't know, it was just a surreal moment where it's like, big things are happening, bro. Not even like, just take me out of it. Like, this is big. Like, my brethren's just done a verse for man. Then he's doing a verse for this American artist. And Biggs is coming in the studio. There was an artist that he was with, I forget the guy's name, but he's big as well. Like, it was just like, but it was just all normal. It was just all like passing through, just the man them just passing through. But it just made me think like, this is a brother that started in Peckham and then been able to take it here. And now these people come through on a respecting. They're not coming through on some, no, it's respect. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just put a lot of things into perspective for me on that day, man.
What I love about that is you're still able to be a fan.
Yeah.
As an artist and at the level that you're at.
Yeah.
So to be in that room and still be able to be like, okay, like this is what's going on as well. Like, okay, like I see that happening because you might have
the guy's name Saint something.
Okay. Saint John?
That's the
Saint
guy.
John.
Yo, those two came in.
Okay.
Random, bro.
He's big.
I know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. But I'm just saying the way it was, it's like, for me, it was like you've just turned off my verse and now you're doing a verse with this big American artist. Then randomly these dons have just walked into the studio. Just on some wagwan thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a day in the life of being at the studio with gigs.
Of the landlords and Hollow Man.
Yeah.
Aye, stepping clean as I'm a step up by. Brand new things to you, girl, and for me. So many girl wanna be my one and only. Them can't control it. Wanna be with me, but bad man doubt it.
Obviously, you had to have a tune on there for the girls. It was a single already.
Yeah.
Something that we were supporting and playing all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Western are just... I know Louis Ray is the person on there, but I can hear Hailey doing the backing vocals on there too. I just feel like they're so underrated. So it was nice to hear them, or even if it's just Louis, just to be on that track as well.
Musically, so in tune, bro. Like, you can't listen to one of their songs and say it's not a banger. Mm-hmm. They release bangers, bro. Do you know what I mean? And it's all cool. Like, sometimes people you don't get the recognition, but in time it comes, man.
Yeah.
You keep creating, you keep working. You know what I mean? They've got a big fan base, but I just think that their music is so sick that they could be bigger. But again, you just keep cracking on and you keep kicking doors down and do your thing. But it was nice to be able to involve them on the track. Like, Louis obviously came through and gave me a cold verse. Then it was nice to get the sprinkles from Hailey on the backing vocals, because I guess when you see the when you see the title of the track, One and Only, featuring Louis, you probably would think I'd be spitting on the tune as well. But I'm singing with Hailey backing my vocals, and then Louis spraying. People didn't. Yeah, that was just a mad mix.
Flipped it around completely,
but people enjoyed the track, man, and that's what it's about.
It's a big
up,
tune.
it's a big up Shadow Music that produced it, and again, my team, they will executively produce anything that I put out, so they was involved in that as well. And there's all different nice parts that have been put in that they would have doctored. So hold tight, the man, them.
Going back to just the point you made about Western and, you know, the fact that they should be bigger than they are. Do you feel like there's an issue in the UK? I don't know, with the way that we support some of those acts.
Sometimes I think like people have to buy into you as an artist and as a person, I guess. Mm-hmm. So if you're just a person that wants to put out cold music, but you might just not really be in the social media thing, it's all right to be like that. Mm-hmm. But again, sometimes that could go against an artist. Because some people are really good at social media, not even that good at music, and then their thing's massive. Yeah. It's mad. Me personally, I'd rather just be cold at music. Because when the social media dies out, if it dies out, your music's still there. Mm-hmm. And you're cold. Mm.
So for me, this is like the smiley part of the album. Like this is the good vibes part of the album. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we had One and Only. We've had the mainstream kind of sounded tunes. We've had Bathrobe earlier, and then we're going to get into Redesign now, which went off at the launch.
Yeah,
I think that got wheeled up about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I didn't even expect it. Like, I knew what was put together, but I just kind of probably didn't expect it to be in the launch, because we'd been playing songs for quite a while at that point. So when we dropped Redesign, they're like, yo, I'm like, yo, all right, cool. So the testing's working because this is the first time everyone's hearing it. But yeah, man, it's a good song. It's a good song that's been put together. Again, the brothers produced that .Inc. And then Wavy Boy Smith got involved and blessed me with some vocals at the back end of the track. Then I have to big up Mel backing vocals, Jess backing vocals, Ruben backing vocals. Those are like the seasonings that make the, you know what I'm saying? You know when you got your chicken and then it's lacking something, and then you just, and then it's, that's how the songs are put together, man.
It's good to know these things, because I think if you're just listening to tracks blind and, you know, you might be driving along or you might be doing something else and it's just a song playing in the background, it's nice to strip things back and know the amount of work and the amount of backing artists and backing vocals that you've got on a single track to make the track sound like that, because it's a big tune. It's such a good vibe, and obviously it wouldn't be that without those people.
Nah, not at all. Like everyone played a part. Everyone played a key part. And everyone it's like, you know when someone just understands what they need to do, so you don't even really have to direct them too much. It's just great, like when you're in the studio and these things are happening. So the main vocals are down. Someone steps up to do their backing vocals, and then you just hear what range they hit. Yeah. And you're like, yo, this is mad.
Bring that back at one time, but that bounce a rewind. Oh yeah, must been bossy from time, but that girl make me turn blind. Me need a little water, she know so that me wanna. This girl a drop a corner, jumping on my corner. She want me drop up on the corner.
Was you conscious that this was gonna be the happy part of the album before we start getting into Fortitude?
Yeah, like I felt like I wanted to take people in stages, so the way we put this together was kind of like 2 by 2. Do you know what I mean? We paired songs that would sound good after each other. So I felt like these 2 songs sounded really good next to each other. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then obviously when we move on, we get the 2 serious songs next to each other. So again, the placement was done on purpose.
We've had the happy part of the album.
Yeah.
We've spoken off camera, obviously. Yeah. And I understand why Fortitude had to be on the album and why it's so important for you for it to be on the album. But, you know, it needs to be something that you let us know, like in terms of we're now getting into the serious part of the album where we've got 2 tracks that are pretty emotional. And this was definitely one of the ones for me where I had to go back once I realised what this track was talking about and the things that you were saying and speaking about and addressing. It was a brave move, and it's something that, you know, I salute you for as well, for doing that.
Yeah, I feel like, again, like taking everyone back to where I took them back to on the track from where it started, because obviously the track finish is a bit different. Yeah. Where it started, it's like it took me back to a place where mentally was probably the most traumatic period of my life. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like, good or bad, it's part of man's story. It was important to put this type of track on my album to give you a piece of me. Like, even if you're a new fan, old fan, whatever, I just felt like it was important to let you know where I was, where I am now. And the chorus lets you know, like, man's there, no matter what. So the song's called Fortitude. And fortitude is like you weather the storm, no matter what's thrown at you, you deal with that. You know what I mean? So I stand by that. My mum will always tell me, who God bless, no man curse, ever. Like, so those words, those wise words, like, that's tattooed on my chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you just weather the storm, no matter what's thrown at you, nothing can't break you.
Listen, Emadale, Olio, saw Choreo. I was inside with some killers in the corridor. Signing my canteen list should be Polydor. Where I'm getting them deals from, when you're all of the man and from the tech that you plugged in your body, can't you sick of separation from the outside? But you ain't shining out on the outside. God's got me despite what it sounds like. Yeah. God's got me no matter the situation. Just bringing the family humiliation. I'm looking out the window in education. Trying to take in the time I'm gonna be facing. At this end, I'm a fuck that. Hit the road, make a comeback. 10 years later, can you see I've done that?
Listening to it was obviously hearing the passion with pretty much every word as it came across. You know, I'm signing this when I should be signing that. Or
that's real talk, bro.
Yeah.
That is real talk. Imagine being in a place where you're signing a canteen list, like you're getting like, I don't know, £20, £30 a week. But where you've just come from and what you was just doing, what you was trying to achieve, and now you feel like everything's been taken away from you and you shouldn't be here, but you have to go through what's going on. You know what I mean? I feel like God doesn't throw things at us that we can't handle. At times you don't understand why, but ultimately you'll be able to handle it.
I guess it really helps you as well to appreciate more the things when success does come as well, because
100%.
Being in a place that's isolated and, you know, not just being able to do simple things like just sit here and do an interview, bro. I know for me personally, if I went through that, I'd be appreciating things even more. Like, your launch party must have been one emotional experience.
Like, the reason
bro.
why that was emotional as well is because a lot of like the people who's there have been on my journey in some way, shape or form. They've jumped on late. So one of my good friends in there, I met him whilst sitting down. Like, And that's my good friend today. We might not see each other for a year or two, but I regard him as my brother. That's my brethren, Leon Roach. Like, trust me, bro. Like, yeah. I met some good people along that. Although it was a time that you don't really want to revisit, you wouldn't want to never be in that position again. Yeah. You still meet people that are good along the way, and those are people that I've stayed in contact with. Ray, Teniola, that's my brother as well. Like,
one of the people, obviously, that we would have loved to have been there is Jess.
Ultimately, she would have been proud, man. She would have been proud, bro. Trust me. Like, you know when you have, like, everyone has their biggest fans, but she'd be someone that would always be onto me about releasing music. She knew I was making music, but it's like, when you drop in something, drop something. You know what I'm saying? Like, this song's hard. Like, I had one song that I didn't put on the album, but she was like, you need to put this song on. I think the level that we got to, it didn't fit. But yeah, she would have probably been vexed that I didn't put that on there. You know what I mean? But she was the someone that would always spur people to go and push for their dreams and just, deliver and enjoy life. So it would have been nice for her to be there and see the moment that it took a long time for us to get to, but we got there, sort of thing. But yeah.
I obviously didn't have the pleasure of knowing her.
Wonderful person, man.
But, you know, since hearing her name and hearing the track on Gets' album, it made me feel like I did know her because of how many people's lives she touched, bro. And obviously hearing the track then on your album really kind of resonated with me and brought that back even more. So, you know, there's no surprise why that track is on there, but just talk to me a little bit about how important she was to so many people's lives.
I mean, firstly, she told me that I need you better make sure you make a song for me. You better make sure. So again, that like, it was not difficult. It wasn't difficult because we made what we made, but now it's the pressure of I need to make sure that I deliver a song that I know that she would appreciate, and also I need to go and show this to her family for them to sign this off, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it was nice to be able to put something together that her family appreciate, but her as a person and the amount of people that she touched the day when it was her day, the amount of people that turned up. I knew then how many people, I knew before how many people she touched, but on that day when you see everybody.
Yeah, puts it into perspective.
Yeah, it's like, and obviously she passed at such a young age. She was only 27. It was her anniversary the other day, the 31st of January. So I went to her family's house and we had a little drink and stuff to celebrate her life. Because sometimes it's hard, it's always sad and stuff, but it's nice to be able to celebrate someone's life rather than stay in that mourning type of vibe. You know what I mean? It's not nice, man, but she's hugely missed. And yeah, I hope that she likes the song when she hears it.
Love you too. Listen, I'm going to ring you later on. I'm just going over to the fair with King. I'll give you a call later on. 100%. I've been speaking to your mum, so I've kind of had a little update with what's been going on, but me and you need to reason properly.
Hold tight, Jesse. Lord, you take it with my bestie. She was only little over a quarter century. A little boy ain't even started elementary. It's mad, you get me? I'm looking at my glass and it's empty. I've been drinking so much trying to mend me. Looking at the last text that you sent me. Read what we share, no one can replace. I'm on the A13 looking at your place by the BP. Wishing I could stop by if need be. I've been so fucked, life's kinda like feces. Fly gal, always kept her eyebrows flaky. We'll begin to dance with her chest so wheezy. Fall to the end and made it look so easy.
This can't be the end, so I'll say bye for now until we meet again. I'm hoping that you'll save a seat for me, good friend.
Listening to the audio that you have in there of her, I think for me, that's something that gets quite hard to listen to every time I hear that track. I've got no doubt that the recording process of making that song as well must have been a real challenge for you.
Difficult, bro. Like, it's so difficult. Like, so we had one version of the track that wasn't a stripped back production wise, that was good. It was good, but I don't feel like it had the emotions that I wanted people to feel from hearing the track. I don't think that you could feel that from the first or second versions. So it was weird. Like we like again, as we was finalizing, I went back in, and I remember like Dotting moved to a new studio. So I've gone to this new studio, and then when I've walked into the room, Sean Wonder was in there, Mike Keys was in there, and they were working on it. But it almost felt like whilst they was working on it, the lyrics I was hearing that I'd already laid, it's like I hadn't heard them before. Because there's so much space for me to hear what's being said now. So now everything's piercing me, right? And just like the way the piano's just playing, like, I don't know, bro, it was a bit too much for me to handle. So I'm at the back of the room, everyone's heads to me, sort of thing. So I'm listening, and it just got to a point where I had to leave the room, bro. Like, it was too much. I left the room, up, like, held a corner, you know what I mean? I was crying. You know, you're like, I don't cry much, bro. Like, I don't really cry over anything, to be honest with you. Like, I don't cry over nothing, but loved ones that have passed,
of course,
there's times that you think of them and it will take you back somewhere, but that is like, yeah, that day I feel like I was probably out of that session for about half an hour, bro. So I'm trying not to listen to what they're doing, but the music's coming through the walls.
Yeah,
like I can just keep hearing it. Like, so obviously I just, you know what I mean? I just fixed myself up, went back in there, and then had to be able to help piece this song together and position certain things. So that was difficult, but then the most difficult part was, like you said, putting the voice notes in. Because those voice notes were like the last voice notes that we really sent each other. Those were the last. So I think I never heard her voice after that. I think we FaceTime maybe the day before, but I never heard her voice after that voice note, bro. And that was only probably like, it was probably only a few days before she passed. So putting those voice notes in were difficult, but then sending that to her parents to approve of.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind they'd heard the track, but they'd heard like mix 2. So now, I remember her mum was on holiday, so I sent the track. While she's on holiday, I understand she wouldn't want to listen to something that's going to take her back to a certain place. So when she's come back, she's called me and said, I need to see you. So I knew that she had listened to the song, but I didn't know how
she'd received it.
Yeah. So I went and sat with her mum and dad, and obviously the voice note was really hard to listen to because now it's taken them back to a place. Her dad was there beside the bed when she sent the voice note. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's difficult, but they respected the art and how the song is put together, and also it spreads awareness for this young people that are going through similar things. And it's just like, for me, I just felt like I wanted to show the world that to the last moment, Jess was strong.
Yeah.
To the last moment, she fought to the end, bro. Like, I've never seen anyone go through that. Do you know what I mean? Again, I've lost grandparents and stuff, and it's always sad when you lose grandparents. But I feel like with grandparents, they've been able to give life, for that life to give life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like they've been on the earth and they've achieved and done certain things whereby it's always sad, but now they can just rest and know that their families are pushing on. But when you've got a friend that's 27, passes at 27, she's been told that she's got cancer, and she passes within 14, 15 months. You can't handle that. You can't, like, I never thought after she told me that she had pain in her leg that it was going to lead to cancer, and then that cancer was going to be the end of, do you know what I mean? Like, I just never saw that. So it's been really difficult, man, but I'm glad that our family signed it off, and we were able to put it on the album, because I've met a lot of people that tell me that they've cried when they've listened to the song, or it's touched them in a certain way, and they feel like they know her, just like you said that you feel like you know her from Gets dropping something, me dropping something. So again, being able to have her name live on, I'm happy about doing that, man.
No, salute to you, bro.
Yeah.
Because I think you really did achieve that.
Thanks, bro.
And RIP to Jess, man.
Yeah, every time.
All right, so getting into the last track now, man. I think for this one, you said to me before, obviously, Jess might have been the last tune on the album.
Yeah.
But you wanted to end on something a little bit more high and
Yeah,
just
I wanted to
celebrate
end on
a little bit
something.
more.
Yeah, I wanted to end on something a bit more uplifting, but it's still relatable. So it's like coming off the back of Fortitude, which is like a song that, you know what I mean, I've got to dig in, I've got to talk, I'm laying it on the line, I'm letting you know something, it's deep. Then we go into Jess, it's heartfelt. You know what I mean? And other people that have lost someone, you can relate to it, but then it's like you get into more life now. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you're never going to forget any of these things, these sad things that have happened in your life. But you know what? While we're here, let's live life to the fullest. And let's just try and achieve all of what we can achieve. So that was the purpose of making that track, and definitely the reason why it's positioned where it's positioned. I felt like it was a perfect way to end the album. And even if like I touch on, if you watch the video, the message that Aliga puts in before he starts the chorus, he says something like, life is like filled with obstacles and hurdles, all there to like throw you off your quest, but basically just tunnel vision and you'll get to where you need to go to. So big up Aliga for killing that song. You know what I'm saying? He put vocals on Fortitude as well, but I felt like the album was wrapped, and then randomly I got a voice note. He's like, yo bro, I think I got Work Part 2. We had a track called Work in 2016.
Big tune.
Yeah, like, and I was like, all right, cool, send a voice note. But the reason I said send the voice note through is because I know every track he sends me, he'll have the rhythm playing, he'll do a voice note, but it sounds like he's in the studio. And instantly, within like, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds, I knew that what he was saying was true.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, bro, when you're ready, let's go record this. Bearing in mind, I'm trying to rap this album. So I'm like, all right, cool. I saw the potential of where it could go to, so we kind of done it all kind of quick. So when I linked up with Rantree, you know what I'm saying, he delivered what he did with the beat, cold beat. You know what I mean? We did what we did with the vocals, sent it off to my guy in Amsterdam to mix it, yours truly. Lee was ill at the time, he couldn't even do it. You know what I mean? Lee does everything. So I was already stepping out of that was a bit like, woo, but again, big up Salve, he done his thing. So yeah, we got the tune done. Obviously my master is Kevin Tuffy. So we got that done really fast, got the visual shot, and then used that as the first track to let you know that the album's coming really soon.
And then it was the last track on the album.
But a nice way to end the album because again, more life, bro. You know what I mean? Like leave the album like feeling uplifted, like yeah, let me get on with my day. That's what I wanted to give the people, and I wanted them to take that away, and I think that they've done that.
Put this on my life, yeah. Want to make a million step. We were toiling through the night, and while they got the company and slept, we were toiling through the night, yeah. Work smart, all me life, man. Work hard, yeah. What we do, yeah. Work smart, all me life, man. For us, man, died, yeah.
I think before the album dropped, obviously we had a few tracks, and on the day, obviously that was a crazy day for us.
Yeah. Launch.
More of a crazy day for you because obviously you had the launch. I DJ'd, so I had a lot of stuff to prep for as well.
Thank you for doing that,
bro. Every time, man.
Thank you, man.
And a lot of the times I asked you how you were feeling.
Yeah.
You know, because it was unknown territory.
Do you know what's mad? Yeah, I think I've obviously said this to you, bro. Like, I've never. When people talk to me about anxiety, I don't know what you're talking about because I've never felt anxious about nothing. I feel nervous.
Yeah,
it's a different feeling. I've identified that it's a different feeling. But like, if you're gonna go perform, you might be nervous for a second or two, and as soon as you go out, it's gone.
Yeah, and then you just go and do it.
But this anxiety, bro, like, imagine. So we're probably like, I don't know, 5 hours before launch. 5 hours before the party starts.
Yeah,
not before the album launch. Before the party starts. So I remember we're sitting in the Turkish in Wood Oven. But something was going on my belly, bro. I don't know what was going on, but something was going on my belly. I could eat still. Some people can't eat. I could eat still, but I'm saying to my manager, like, yo, bro, this feeling's a bit mad. He said, you're anxious, bro. I said, I don't know what anxiety is. He said, bro, that's what that is.
This is what this is.
You know what I'm saying? You're thinking about too much things. But I guess I was probably concerned with like when you're putting on an event, you want to make sure it runs smoothly. You don't know problems there. Do you know what I mean? If there's any problems there, that can then tie into my album's coming out at midnight. This is not good. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted everyone to be safe.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
And probably maybe part of it was because it's a big moment. The album's coming out. Although I know the level of the album, I know that I'm happy. I'm not going to put something out I'm not happy with. I guess part of that, you're thinking like, oh, but I've never been anxious before.
It's tracking back to the last 2 hours that we've been speaking, bro.
Yeah.
Like the amount of work
that
you've put into this. It's not just, it's not something that you've done in a week or a couple of weeks and then dropped it. Like there's so much thought process behind everything. The tracks, the listing, the production, you know, the voice notes. Is this track right here? Is that track right there? You know, the backing vocals. There's so much work that's gone into it. The tracks that didn't make the album and then come off and then got brought back on, and you know, so I think it's only right. I think you're allowed to be anxious, bro.
But again, at my big age, I've never had that feeling before, bro. Ever. But I'm laughing. I was laughing through it.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know where it was. You know what I mean? Until you told me.
What's the feeling now? Because it's been out for a couple of weeks.
I was like, as soon as I got to the venue and we was like setting up and stuff, the feeling went.
Yeah.
It lasted probably like an hour. But like since the album's been out, honestly, like the reviews that we've had, Enemy, I think Enemy was like 4 stars.
Sick.
Clash Magazine was like 7. We've had good reviews, man. And I mean like, bro, like my thing is like, for this being my first album, cool. Like there's a lot of people that are dropping that have big machines. Do you know what I mean? So not all the time are your numbers gonna match other people's. You know? But my thing was to make sure that this is a critically acclaimed album.
Yeah.
And I feel that we've done that.
Yeah.
We've done that. We've achieved that. And that's what it was about for me. People enjoy the music. People that criticize music, critique this properly.
Yeah.
And let's know that this is the start of something and there's going to be a lot more to come.
Sick.
You know what I mean? Big up the other people that dropped on the day. M. Honcho dropped on the 24th.
Yeah.
Jay Hush dropped on the 24th. So I feel like that was even good. 3 different people dropping on the same day, start of the year. It's just new music. Everyone can take it in and enjoy. You know what I mean? Even though I guess no one knew when anyone was dropping, it was just nice that there was 3 different things. People got different flavors to choose from.
Not only that, but it's different inspirations for people. Because like I said to you on the last one, like people like yourself who have come from the same area that I've come from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And at this level now, doing things that you're doing, being rated by the enemies and things like that, it gives the rest of us not just hope, but inspiration as well, even if we are doing our own thing. So thank you for that.
It's always good to be recognized. But it's weird because it's like you do music and obviously you're dropping your music in a pond of people, but you don't do it for recognition.
Of course.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like you do, but you don't.
Yeah.
It's a form of expression. Putting music out is a form of expression. So a lot of the times it's like you're having a conversation with yourself. And then if people love your conversation, it's like, oh, wicked, bro. You love man's conversation. But ultimately, it's some sort of therapy. Do you know what I mean? An expression. But yeah, music.
No, big up, man. I think you definitely got something to be proud of.
Thank you, man.
Happy that it's out there. Happy that it's doing well.
Yeah.
Ready for the next one. As soon as it drops, back to Reevwd.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this all over again, bro.
Bro. Like this is the start of something. So yeah, I'll be back in here, no doubt.
Love, man.
Reevwd.